Hi, here's a little something different. I just got a Minifreak. One of the very first things you're going to want to do when you get a Minifreak is update the firmware. So you're playing with all the latest changes. I have looked at the change log. It is something you're going to want to do, especially with button sensitivity. That's the big thing for me, because if you've seen any of the other reviews, everybody always complains about the button sensitivity. So they did something about it. There's some other changes in there that you're going to want. I looked around on YouTube to see if there's any how-tos out there. There really isn't. And so I got halfway into this, and then it hit me. I should probably make a video for this for the few of you who actually want to update your firmware. So that's what this is. Unfortunately, I didn't record the whole process of it, so it's more of like I'm just going to tell you kind of thing, with the occasional screenshot that I was able to grab. So with this, one of the first things that I found was a problem is I was digging through the site trying to figure out where the crap the software is. And if you got frustrated and decided to turn to YouTube, well, guess what? If you found this video, great. There's a link in the description that I'll put in there that'll take you to this page. And as you scroll down, skip this, scroll down, go to the software, pick your platform, download it, run it. At that point, you'll see a little install wizard. You go through the install wizard, leave everything default. You don't need to deselect anything. And then once you're done with that, you fire up the software. For Mac, you have to go to your applications folder, and there's a little folder in there that says, Arturia Minifreak. You double click on that and you'll see two applications in there. Minifreak V obviously is the one that you want. You don't need to fire up the other one. Once you do that, make sure before you start this, and I guess it doesn't matter if you have it plugged into your machine, so your Minifreak needs to be plugged into your Mac or Windows. I don't know if it matters if you have it in before you start the software or not, or if it just automatically detects it. I had it plugged in before, and by doing that, it automatically detected it, and it said, hey, you need to update your firmware. So I did this kind of backwards. I found the firmware, downloaded it, and I'm old school, so I'm used to like, oh, I got to drop this bat file or this firmware file into the software and then it update. No, none of that. With this software, it'll automatically detect the machine, and then it'll say, hey, do you want to download and get this thing updated? You go yes. You make sure there's no power outages in your home, because if this machine turns off in the middle of that update, who knows what the crap it's going to do. That's pretty typical with a lot of firmware updates on a lot of hardware. You never want to kill it during an update. So it'll do it. It'll take about, I think I clocked in at maybe 3 to 4 minutes for the whole thing. And then you'll see this. And then at that point, you'll wait some more. And then you'll see this as far as what the hardware is going to look like. You're going to see some dancing lights and whatnot. And then at that point, once it's done, it'll say, hey, we're going to reboot. And then once that reboot happens, which is a surprisingly long reboot, this machine boots up really quick. So for some reason, it says it'll take like a minute to reboot. Just let it do its thing until finally you see the usual splash screen on the hardware. And then at that point, you're going to want to register. And that's where I'm at with this. The registration, you got to do a little bit of a dance. It'll open up a browser. You got to register your, a new account. Then you got to activate it. And then once you activate it, then you go back in and you have to use your serial number and your, I don't know if the unlock code is necessary. But I'm at that point. Grab this. It's your serial. It's on here. And then that's the easiest way to do it without having to like lift up the machine. Register your device, get it in there, because that will unlock and get rid of the 20-minute cap for using Minifreak V, and then you're all set. That's how you do it. Thanks for watching. It's probably going to help a few people out. That's how I did it.